Even as the government signed the financing agreement unlocking the final payment for the biometric voter registration kits, the statement by the man who will run the election have left the country wondering whether the BVR option is viable anymore. Insiders now say the supplier, Safran Morpho, should have delivered at least 6,000 kits by now, since the first payment of 2.4 billion shillings covered almost the expected first batch. So is it delaying tactics, or is a country setting itself up for failure? KTN's Noah Otieno reports.
Insiders now say that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission may have found itself under strong-arm tactics by outside forces in the now acrimonious contract for the supply of biometric voter registration kits. A source deep within the BVR tendering drama says the contract, as was signed, meant that the supplier Safran Morpho was not supposed to demand money in advance before delivering the kits. Even after demanding and being paid the first 40%, Kenya actually deserved to be given at least 7,000 BVR kits, as more payment was awaited. It is this misnomer that is said to have sent shockwaves within the IEBC and the political circles that perhaps the supplier was not as ready to deliver the kits as they purported to be. Questions are also now emerging as to why the government agreed to deal with a middleman, since it is now dealing with a branch in Canada while the real manufacturer, Safran Morpho, is in France.
The Commission needs at least 5,000 kits. The IEBC feels the kits have to be in by November 5th at the very latest, if it is to use the kits at all. And they have said again that after November 5th, they don't need them.
Already, the IEBC has had to change their timelines for the voter registration exercise 4 times this year because of the BVR drama. They had intended to begin in August this year, but were forced to move the date to October after their own tendering process fell victim to fierce infighting within the IEBC. The slow pace of government-to-government deal of the BVR forced them to push the date further to November 1st with a plan to end it in 30 days on November 30th. Now they have pushed it again to November 12th with a plan to stop on December 3rd. This gives them just 20 days for the job. Many are skeptical whether they'll manage to register 18 million voters in such a short time with practically brand new machines and software.
There is absolutely no reason to vary the election dates, and if there is anybody out there that is attempting to play with the logistical preparations for these elections so that they can have reason, so that they can have an excuse to postpone this election, we tell them that it is a shame and it is unacceptable, and that as a party, ODM will not be party to any conspiracy intended to delay the election date.
It is the financing of the deal that has raised questions whether there were deliberate delaying tactics to paralyze the IEBC. But even the IEBC is not blameless in the fiasco, as it is the Commission itself that set off the fight over the BVR tender, forcing the government to come in. Noah Otieno, KTN Prime.